All right, no injuries to report. Good win, obviously. Anytime you win in this league, it's good. And we got to get ready to go on to Houston now. So we're ready when you are.
Just your thoughts on just putting yourself in this position and just, how it's a reflection of all the work you've kind of put in, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's the ultimate team game. And to have a chance, obviously with one game left, winning in is huge. So it's a credit to the players, credit to the coaches. And we got to be at our very, very, very best come this week.
You've been trying, but you got back to the run game, maybe really when it really mattered. Is that the way you want it? That's kind of your blueprint.
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, when you're popping some runs there, keep running it if it's working, right? And JT popped a few big ones there, and shoot, when you're going for 1-2 yards, it's hard to call runs sometimes. But when you're popping for 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, obviously it's good to run it.
How big was it to have Braden Smith back in the running game?
It's huge. To get a player back like that with his presence out there and his physicality is big. So I got to look at the tape, but I thought he did a good job today.
Really reception start the game, kind of like just set the tone for what we were doing.
It was huge. Third down scramble there by Gardner, and then him wheeling back out of that thing was huge. To go down there and get 7 points, 6-play drive, I believe, was huge. And the next drive we scored on, I think it was 6-play, and then to hit, Alec there on that 3rd and 1 for the big one was huge.
Really young defense. How proud are you what they were able to do in this game?
Say that again.
Really young defense, especially the secondary.
Yeah.
How proud are you how these guys came?
Yeah, no, shoot. Jones and Juju on the corners, I love those guys. I think they're going to have a hell of a future in this league. And they play physical. They play hard. It means something to them. Obviously, Nick Cross back there is doing a heck of a job. It was a good all-around victory, obviously, for everybody.
What did you think of Rodney Harrison stepping into a different position another week and what he was able to give you guys?
Yeah, no, it was great to see that. Playing linebacker and then playing on the back end too as well. That's where he really played a lot in college. And been in that position, obviously, in the NFL too as well. So it was great to see him, switch that role a little bit, and credit to Milo and those guys getting him ready.
We're going to have to get back to that. Arguably, his biggest plays were the fumble recovery and the defensive pass interference. So, what was it like just having him in there and helping you get those margins to win?
Yeah, no, it's huge to have a player back like that. Anytime you got a really, really good player like Pitt back out there, it's huge. And obviously you can tell just his presence being out there helps our football team.
What did you see on the deep ball to Alec that led that play to be successful?
They were in a zero look, no deep safeties, and something we saw on tape that, shoot, if it was zero like that, we got a chance to run over top. We got to max it up, and we got the look. And, shoot, Gardner made a heck of a play stepping into that throw. And then just leading Alec across the field, no one was over there, and catching it in stride to go score was huge.
Was that the play call or a check?
We called it that way, depending off obviously who we're going to throw it to off the coverage.
Not zero.
Yeah, there's certain looks. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah.
Kind of getting back into the run game, you kind of talked about guys like JT and Trey Sermon popping off those big ones, especially in the fourth quarter. Just how big were those, especially when it felt like the Raiders were trying to get back into the game?
Yeah, no, it was huge. Credit to the guys up front, leading the charge, creating those holes for them. And I know we got some stuff on the perimeter there. The one that Trey hit around, the edge there was huge. To get those runs, pop those runs, it's good. And then the guys feed off that stuff. The offensive line feeds off it, tight ends feed off it, running backs feed off, sidelines feed off it. It's good momentum when you're popping runs like that.
Shane, I'm not sure if we know all the scenarios yet, but just how eager are you to kind of learn about your team in a possibly winner-take-all situation?
It's a great question. I think we're going to find out a lot about ourselves. Obviously, we found out a lot about ourselves throughout this season, but tomorrow we know that we got to win, or next week we got to win. So our focus is strictly on Houston now. We're moving on to them.
What do you think it is about this team that's able to bounce back from Cincinnati game, Falcons game, the way that they have those two games?
Yeah, I think it's resilience, right? Shoot, in this league sometimes you get beat. You don't want to get beat like we did in Cincinnati. You don't want to get beat like we did in Atlanta. How are we going to respond to it? And we can't let that happen week in and week out. You got to bounce back. And our guys have done a heck of a job bouncing back the last 2 times that's happened to us. And obviously we got a great opportunity at home again against Houston.
You give yourself any time to enjoy this win? I get the sense that you're already literally on to Houston in your head.
No, zero time to enjoy this one.
Is that normal for you, or is this week different because of what's at stake?
It's pretty normal. I mean, I might enjoy it for an hour or so, but that's about it.
Shane, when you were putting things together,
Did you envision this when you took the job?
Yeah, I think.
It's a win-and-in situation, but it's playoffs on the line.
Yeah, I think in this league, every year is a new year, whether you're on one team or another team, right? You put in the work in the offseason, you put in the work in training camp, and then you got to go out and execute on Sunday. And everyone's got to have belief in that locker room. they're all together doing this thing, because it ain't about one man, it's about everybody. And I think when you got that belief in this league, whatever team it is, you give everything you got, you're going to have a chance to win every Sunday, and that's what these guys have been doing. So,
Coach, Pittman is now in the conversation with Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and Dallas Clark with 100 catches and 1,000 yards. What makes him so elite to be in that category?
yeah, I mean, I've said this a few times in my press conferences, during the week. Just his preparation, the way he works. Obviously, he's got a huge catch radius. He makes plays when the balls are thrown to him, and it's just a pleasure to have him on this football team.